Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Wednesday to everyone. Time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. So, not a great day in the shop here. If you saw the thumbnail, you've probably figured out that this motor is out of this bus. So we thought this car was done, and so I was taking it on some more driving. So far, I think I'd only been like around the block, maybe a mile or so. So today I took it on one of my usual routes, which kind of makes a loop around Orange. It's 7 or 8 miles. And the motor just seemed loud. And we noticed too, especially when we started up, it would smoke a bit from the tailpipe. And I was kind of assuming like, okay, well maybe, after we put a few miles on it, maybe the rings will seed and stuff like that. It'll start smoking less, but it just didn't really seem like it was getting any better. So we made the executive decision to go ahead and pull the motor out. Better safe than sorry. And so talked to Brian Roth, who built the long block for this motor. He actually, before we pulled it out, he came over and he took a listen to it, and he said, yeah, let's go through it. So kudos to him for being a stand-up guy. He's gonna pull it apart since he built it and kind of see what's going on here. He has some theories. I'm not going to go into them now as to why it's noisy, but nonetheless, it's out. So very much a bummer, and this is not on the owner of the bus to pay for any of this, so it's pretty much on our backs to take care of it and make it right. And mine and Brian's, Brian Roth. So obviously us pulling the motor out and putting it back in and stuff, customer won't pay for that because it has nothing to do with the owner. So we stand by our work, and sometimes these things happen. Bummer. And we did do the initial cam break-in and stuff on this motor on the test stand, and everything went well. And it's kind of hard to tell on the test stand because you're running them at relatively high RPM, and they seem noisy. And I don't know. Anyway, I didn't really at the time notice it being excessively loud. Honestly, today during the course of the 7 or 8 mile drive that I took on, maybe it's my imagination, but it seemed like it was sounding like worse and louder by the time I finished that drive. So I don't know what's going on in there, but it will be pulling apart and is that even a word? It will be pulled apart maybe and gone through, and one way or another we'll get to the bottom of it, put it back together, and get this baby back together so it can go to its forever home, back with its the owner that's had it since he was like literally 15 years old. Anyway, so yeah, not a great day, guys. I'm feeling pretty bummed out right now. This is definitely like one of the worst things that can happen. Well, in the grand scheme of things, well, I don't know. It's a bummer. We always hate this. We're excited for people to get their cars and stuff like that. So hate to delay that process. And of course I hate to eat cost, which is exactly what I'll be doing here. And, but we have to make it right for the customer. And that's in the end, the most important thing, because that's what determines our reputation. So bummer, guys. Couple other little minor things that I noticed yesterday on the bus was that the driver's side low beams were not working. So did some electrical troubleshooting on that today. This is before I took it on that kind of long drive, and found that the fuse box, which is an original fuse box that we restored, it had so there's some kind of like, I don't know, I guess they're like crimped or brazed together connections in those between the little tabs that hold the fuses themselves and then the male spades. And it seemed like one of those connections maybe wasn't great. And so I kind of like went and re-crimped that and took care of that. So yeah, a little electrical troubleshooting to get this headlight working right and get all the headlights working right. And then let's see, Rafa played around a little bit more with the throttle linkage. I think I had it at like 95% full throttle before, and but then that was before we installed the rubber mats, which of course have, you know, a decent amount of thickness to the rubber mats. And so when I was driving it today, I noticed that it just didn't really feel like it was getting full throttle. And again, because it wasn't quite there, but close enough before. And then I think adding the rubber mat, you know, the throttle pedal sort of hits that sooner than it would have the bare metal floor. So yeah, a little bit more tweaking with the throttle linkage. These can be a little bit of a pain. So on these like 40 horse and earlier motors, they have this kind of weird setup where there's a spring and a sleeve on the actual that kind of goes over the throttle cable, and that's your return versus like a return spring kind of going this way, which is what you're probably used to on the later ones. So those can be a little finicky sometimes to get full throttle. So Rafa played around with that and got it, you know, basically where it was going to full throttle. So we did take care of a couple other little minor things on the bus today, but yeah, obviously the big thing is pulling the motor, and you know, hopefully we can turn it around relatively quickly. So no fun, guys. Anyway, another thing that happened today, speaking of pulling motors, and this one was pulled for a good reason, and that is, if you follow the channel, you know that kind of the last thing I needed to do to this motor with it in the car was to mock up the full flow oil cooler, which sits underneath the back corner there. And so got that all mocked up and stuff, made the hoses, everything. And so Rafa went ahead and yanked this motor out this morning for me, and we got it up on a stand. So now probably be firing this motor up very soon and doing its cam break in and so on. I am doing a little bit of reading to educate myself on these SU carburetors. So thank you to Steve, aka OC Avant, who lent me a book on these carburetors from like 1975, but super great information. So I'm kind of like reading a little bit the theory now of these carburetors, because they work a little different than what I would call like a regular carburetor. And so I'm trying to kind of understand how they work. That'll better help me get them set up and stuff. And as I mentioned before, you got to add oil to this sort of dash pot deal here that controls the fuel mixture. So yeah, got a little bit of learning curve on those, but as soon as I'm comfortable enough with those, then yeah, I'll go ahead and add some oil to this thing and bolt the test stand up here and fire it up. So maybe later this week, I don't know. We'll see, guys. Not making any promises. And I'm a little discombobulated now because of this whole thing. So we'll see, but soon. It's out of the car now, which is a good thing, because the next step is to fire it up on the test stand and you know, do the cam break in, chase down any possible little oil leaks or little minor issues like that, hopefully. And then yeah, then it'll go back in. And then I think almost everything else on this bus is actually done. It's got brakes, we redid all the electrical, it's got all brand new interior, etc. So yeah, getting this motor running and dialed in and putting it back in is really kind of like the last major thing for this beautiful 54 right-hand drive barn door. So this is good that this one's out. This is not good that we had to pull that. So let's see. Rafa also worked a little bit today on pulling apart well, you can't really see it because it's under a cover. So the next Karmann Ghia in our queue, which is the orange 70 Ghia, we have like really dove in on bodywork on that one. And so Rafa spent some time today pulling a few last things out from like underneath the dash and stuff like that on it, and getting it kind of stripped down. He went ahead and pulled the steering column out of it and stuff like that. So yeah, that Ghia Rene pretty much spent all day today. Probably the worst part of the car, and again, I'm showing you on this car, which is a Beetle, and not the Ghia I'm talking about, but the worst part of that car was pretty much the fit of the deck lid around the body, and then also the rear apron on it, where it looked like it got in a little fender bender back there, and the deck lid wasn't sitting on it great. So Rene pretty much has that all dialed in already, like really, really close. So yeah, it's coming along really well. We do have a new part-time guy. Well, actually, no, he's full-time guy who's helping us out. We're kind of like on a trial basis. His name is Raul, and he's been doing already for the past like 3 or 4 days. I think he actually started on it last week, is to do sanding on that car. So he's already got like the interior of the car sanded down pretty good, and also the engine compartment and the trunk. So kind of got a head start on that one with Raul before Rene finished painting the green one. So the paint and body shop section of our shop is definitely the bottleneck here for getting these restorations into the shop where we can start building them essentially. So yeah, we looking at hiring a full-time guy to do a lot of kind of, I guess, I don't know what I'd call menial tasks, or things like sanding and stuff that you don't need Rene's skill level to do. So yeah, so far he's doing a really good job. Happy with what we're seeing. So, and that is definitely helping to speed up the paint and body process, which again is a huge bottleneck in our shop. So as far as what I did today, other than work on this one and drive it around a little bit, I did kind of start doing the tune-up on this one. I reinstalled the oil sump plate and screen and all that stuff up underneath there, and installed new spark plugs and new spark plug wires. I forgot to get a set of points. I thought I asked Eddie for them, and I didn't get them. I didn't discover that till I got back. Otherwise, I would have. So the distributor cap's on there, but there's no points or rotor in there. Just put the cap on because I wanted to go ahead and route the wires. But putting the points in and the rotor, and at least setting static timing initially, and then adding some oil, I think is the next step on this one as far as its tune-up. And then when it's at the point where I can drive it, I can see if the carburetor needs a little tweaking or anything like that. But again, I mentioned I drove this car during its pre-purchase inspection, and it actually drove and ran really well, which is a little surprising because, again, I think I mentioned the other day, the points only had like 10 thou gap versus 16 they're supposed to have. The timing was retarded, probably 4 to 6 degrees at least. So there were kind of reasons why the motor should run a lot better when I'm done with the tune-up of it. So I'm actually excited for her. I think it's going to run even better than it did, and it was running quite well before. So excited for her to have it running even better. So I did that, and then I went ahead and stabbed the transmission into this puppy. So look at that. Yes, I just got this transmission back from our transmission guy a week ago. Maybe it was Friday, maybe it was Monday. I don't know, guys. The days all kind of run together when you work as much as I do. But yeah, the transmission is in. It is officially bolted up to the spring plates, got the shocks installed. Yeah, so coming right along. I have everything I need to put the rear brakes together, except I might be out of the gasket kits for here. If I don't have those, then I can either obviously get some from Wolfsburg West, or maybe more quickly get them from Eddie at Eddie and Dave's garage. We'll see. If I'm working on this more tomorrow, then I'm probably going to need to hunt down a set of those rebuild kits for the axle seals here. But yeah, this is going together quite nicely and looking amazing as far as I'm concerned. Looks like a new car. Actually, I don't think they look good this good when they were new. So we've got that going for us at least. So yeah, there you go. The other thing that happened over the past couple days, I think I mentioned it maybe, but I didn't show it, is that our upholstery magician, Santiago, is hard at work on this one. And so pretty much so far what he's been doing is removing the old upholstery. And a lot of times on these cars, there are just like many layers of glue from over the years where upholstery, headliners primarily have been glued to the car. And so sometimes it takes like a good day and a half, 2 days to go and remove all that glue. It's basically just a process of like scraping it off is about all you can do. It pretty much needs to be down to like a smooth surface for the new headliner to go on and to lay down nice and smooth and stuff like that. So yeah, so far pretty much just just prep work, really, getting this thing ready for its new headliner. And I think that's one reason why Santiago's headliners, the headliners that we do here, they look so good. It's that all that preparation work. You know, and it's kind of like almost like anything else. Like the more prep work you do up front, the better product or result than you get at the end. And so that's certainly the case with upholstery. Is all this detail of cleaning all this stuff up, super tedious, but then when it goes in and looks amazing, it's in no small part due to all the prep work that went in. The other thing is Santiago did run out and pick up the carpet for it and the headliner material, and I think he got all the vinyl too for the seats and door panels. So and he also got I think he got the binding for the carpet, the beading for the seats I ordered from Wolfsburg West. That'll be here tomorrow. So I think material wise, we've got everything that we need to do the complete upholstery on this car. So very exciting there, and this should be coming along here. I'll hopefully be able to give you guys an update tomorrow showing maybe a headliner partially installed or something. So guys, that is it for today. Lots happening around here. The turquoise Beetle is still here. I'm going to be putting it back in the shop here momentarily, and then he's supposed to pick it up tomorrow. So that one will be gone until he brings it in again for service or whatever. So guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.